the operation, I want to talk about the anxiety
Mhm.
related to that. I was very scared when I got hit because I felt the bones busted up in my back and I couldn't stand up. It's a strange thing when you've been hit in the back and it's actually damaged. You can't stand up. Like I'm sitting here now, it's because of the fusion. I mean, you have it and it keeps you, it doesn't move. It's just the way it is. So, with that, not being able to stand up, and I could actually feel a hole in my back created by that spondy. And I had a therapist who was like, "Oh, I get that spondy back in there. You're not really working that hard. The spondy." He's talking to me like this. And I'm like, "Listen, I'm going to be really upfront and respectful with you. I'm going to kick your ass if you talk to me like this. You don't know what the F you're talking about. I'm just going to be honest with you. I have confidence in people, man. I like people that are like, yo, I can help you because I'm that way too. But when you have structural damage, you have to get the integrity right. It's like, why would we put a building on a foundation that is not properly set? It has to be level. And then from there, there's a series of parameters that we have to take care of with the framing in order to make sure it's going to withstand the weight that we want to put on it, floor by floor. It's simple. The body is the same. So once I realized that month by month, I'm not being operated on, my body's atrophying, bones started to move. So I went from about 220 to about 173 quick.
Wow.
And that was scary, brother. I'm not going to lie. During that time, they're feeding me opiates by, like Skittles. Take these, take these. I'm out of work. I'm taking these Skittles, which are opiates. I'm getting addicted to these things, not realizing that half the time I'm waking up nauseous. It's actually the detox from the opiates. So now I'm dealing with this addiction, which becomes more of a problem than me figuring out how I'm going to recover from a surgery that no one wants to do. Then I have to go to these independent medical examiners who are all trying to screw me over and tell me that I didn't get hurt in a car accident, that I got hurt somewhere else. And I'm looking at this whole charade like, listen, I know you need to make money. Here we go again. I want you to make money. Stop trying to screw me over.
Mhm.
Then I started to realize that the standard of care is really about using people for this business medicine pharmacological practice that completely screws people over. And within 10 years, most of the people that are on the opiates are dead.
Mhm.
Fentanyl's a death sentence.
Yep.
And most of the people that I sat in pain management centers with are dead. There's no way they're alive. I had the conversations with these people.
Mhm.
We spoke about the practices, what they're doing, the alternatives, even, and they knew, but it was too deep. They're in too deep, and that's it, and that's all, and that sucks. But to be completely blunt, and why not just keep being that way? It can change. So, what I found is there are people who will do operations when they're necessary. You just have to find them.
Yep.
But before you do those operations, you really have to prepare yourself for a very challenging work ahead. At 39, I had to learn a brand new spine,
Mhm.
at three levels at a critical point in the lumbar. I'm fused up, and I was told by the doctor that did the fusion, walking will happen for you. Athletics, the way absolutely no way. Basketball, no way. Um, Most likely you're permanently disabled. You'll probably be on disability. I don't expect you to go back to work. And I was like, it's absolutely not happening. Appreciate it. Log that down in your notes. So when I break your notes, you can actually see that, all right, this is what I assessed him as. This
Mhm.
is what happened. This is where he went. Like, I just want you to keep it as an anecdotal. So I went week by week, then month by month to see him. And what happened is I get cleared to walk a lap around a track. I think this is some like maybe 4 or 5 months post surgery, which was a 9-hour reconstruction.
Mhm.
I was videotaped by an insurance company. and all my benefits were cut and I was sent back to work. Now, I was working at an alternative school for psychiatric kids who were very physically aggressive. And guys like me are needed in that place.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. It's obvious why. If it's not obvious why, I'm 6'4", 240 pounds, lifetime martial artist, and I know how to defend and keep people safe when they're unsafe. Plus, I'm a licensed teacher. There it is.
Yeah.
Guess what? Went back to the environment. I should have been dead. Those kids had so much respect for me. None of them would even think about fighting in my room or even uttering a word. They'd go anywhere else. They were like, listen, Lemanczyk, he's a real one. Leave him alone. He's recovering. Fight anywhere else. And I was scared, man, because I couldn't even sit up.
Yeah.
And I had to go back to work. Right. So I got to drive an hour. I got to teach 7 hours. I got to come home an hour. Right. Then I recover. And then all these things happen with recovery. Like I teach in the city, and I'm a phys ed teacher, a health teacher, and a coach. My first 3 years teaching in the city, I couldn't stand up. I was teaching phys ed, leaning against the wall. All the kids thought I was being cool. I couldn't stand up, man.
Yep.
I was actually leaning for life and just having good conversation because I'm a likable and relatable person that just knows how to connect.